All right.
Click the button.
Wow, let's go. All right, good morning. We're reconvening a regular meeting of the Tom Green County Commissioners Courts Tuesday, October 27th, 2015. President Hoelscher, de Cordova, Floyd, Bacon, and Ford. It is 8:47 a.m. and I believe if y'all join me, I'll leave some invitation of pledges. Our Heavenly Father, we humble ourselves before you this morning and we give you thanks for the many blessings you've bestowed upon us. First and foremost, giving us the opportunity to live in the freest, greatest county in the greatest state and the greatest country in the world. We ask that you continue to bless our people, continue to bless this court, bring the rains to heal our lands, Lord, bring comfort for those that are hurting, and bring for protection for those that are in harm's way. Continue to give us wisdom and never let us lose sight that you're our Lord and Savior. We ask all of this in Jesus Christ's holy name. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. On the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you. You may be seated. Anyone wishing to offer any testimony before the court, fill out a witness testimony form over here. Hand it to the bailiff, please. All right. First off, we have the consent agenda. Consider approval of the minutes of the previous meeting. Item B, consider treasurer's claim register and bills paid report. The FY15 state treasurer's claim register is 44 cents. I repeat that, 44 cents. FY15 general fund budget claim register, $10,360.18. FY16 claim register, $35,165.95. Purchase orders 2015, $18.08, 2016, $178,996.50. Consider acceptance of Tom Green County and CSCD personnel actions as presented. Item E, consider acknowledging completion of Public Information Act training with George McCrae, Beth Holland Mull, David Jones, and Open Meeting Act training by George McCrae, David Jones, Beth Holland Mull, and Anthony Joseph Monaco. Item F, consider acknowledging completion of recent Public Fund Investment Act of County Treasurers Association of Texas educational training by Sarah Palmer and Diana Speaker. Item G, consider accepting the official Justice of Peace monthly report for September 2015. Precinct 1, Judge Longest. Consider approving a project agreement between Tom Green County and TDCJ San Angelo Work Camp for general landscaping and maintenance work beginning November 1st, 2015 and ending April 1st, 2016. All right, do we have any other additions or corrections to the consent agenda?
Move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda as presented. Any further questions or discussions? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item 9, consider action on matters of the closed executive sessions held today or from October 22nd, 2015. Nothing from the October 22nd meeting that I have. Okay. Anything today? No action. There's no action on number 9. We will move on. Item number 10, consider line item transfers and budget amendments for FY 2015-2016. Human Resources, $89 from office supplies to non-departmental employee medical, cover the last of 2015. Tax assessor collector, $2,000 from office supplies for shelving. Is that 2016? Okay. Move to equipment. All right. Any other line item transfers or budget amendments? That's all. Okay. All right. Did we not include money for any shelving?
I didn't even know I was going to have shelving until I got down there, and I just had a blank wall. There's nothing there.
We thought you needed a place to hang pictures, I guess. So. Okay.
So I had to install all that myself out of my equipment.
Okay. All right. I move we approve the line item transfers as presented.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. All right, number 11, countywide burn ban. Where are you at, Mr. Miles? Emergency Management Coordinator for San Angelo and Tom Green County.
Judge, Commissioners, at this time I don't believe there is a need for a burn ban. Things are looking good right now.
How widespread were we? I'm obviously not living right. I think I received 2 tents.
Well, everything but the city of San Angelo itself got anywhere from an inch to, there were some places here in the county that got a couple of inches. There's one place I've heard got at least 4 inches. But the city of San Angelo, I don't know of anybody that got over half an inch.
Precinct 4 got between 1.5 inches and 6 inches. Just want to make that clear. We do live right down there. But y'all got to 2 inches the week before, so that's okay. It balances out.
Would you think whoever your neighbors are down there that are responsible for that?
Absolutely. I just happen to be caught in the right shadow.
All right, with that, do you care to make a motion?
Yes, we do. We don't have a burn ban.
Lift the burn ban.
Lift the burn ban. Thank
I'll
you.
second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to rescind the existing burn ban. Any further questions or discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Would you post that, please, ma'am? Chance. All right, number 12, consider acknowledging the new Extension Service Family and Consumer Science Agent. Mr. Gibbs, would you introduce yourself and your deal and our new
You bet.
Consumer Science
Good
Agent?
morning. My name is Marty Gibbs. I'm recently the new District Extension Administrator for District 7 here in San Angelo. Had the pleasure of working with Courtney for quite some time, and now the pleasure of introducing her to you as a candidate for the FCS position. As many of you know, Kathy Aycock retired in August, and we had an extensive set of interviews, and right here under our own nose was Courtney with a Family and Consumer Sciences degree from Tarleton and a master's degree in counseling. And you know her as the 4-H agent, but she now wishes to be the FCS agent and work in that area. We think that would be a good mix, and we'd like to present her to y'all for approval in that position, effective November 1.
Well, and I was made aware of this, and I think it's a great move for Tom Green County. Of course, it leaves a hole in the 4-H agent.
Yes.
But
Yeah, so we start over again, looking for a 4-H agent.
historically, though, y'all have brought us great people for those positions historically, so I have no doubt that y'all will be able to fill that with someone that's acceptable to that 4-H community.
You
Plus, you're still going to be right here to kind of watch over your paternal instinct about what's going on out there. So if you're going to change positions, I'm quite happy that you chose to stay within Tom Green County.
Amen.
I agree. You gonna make that motion or want me to, Judge?
We can go right ahead.
I'd like to move that I would like to move that we approve Courtney Redmond as the Family Services Coordinator for Tom Green County.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Nope. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Congratulations.
Thank you all very much.
Good job.
All right. We are recessing the open session at 8:58 a.m., convening a public hearing. And I have some mandatory language I've got to read for that. All right, it's a public hearing on the matter of the proposed designation of certain property in unincorporated Tom Green County as a reinvestment zone under Subchapter C, Chapter 312 of the Texas Property Code, commonly known as the Property Redevelopment and Tax Abatement Act. This designation would allow for tax abatement agreements to be entered into by the county with owners of property located within the reinvestment zone. Even you want to come forward and kind of clarify all of this? We've been through it before, but it's...
Would you like me to do that after the public hearing, or does now work for you? Okay.
Just go ahead and
Right.
allow this public hearing for...
Okay.
So that way anybody from the public that wants to comment kind of knows what we're doing.
Absolutely. So again, the step today that we're asking the court to move forward with, as you mentioned, is it's called the designation of a reinvestment zone. What we provided to the court, and that was included in the public hearing notices, et cetera, were the legal descriptions of the boundaries of this proposed solar farm project. And so within these boundaries, the county has the ability, they are not bound to do it, but they can consider entering into a tax abatement or any other kind of tax incentive agreement within those boundaries set by this reinvestment zone. So what we're asking you to do today is just to take a look at those boundaries. If you have any questions on the locations of the project, the maps that we provided you, et cetera, it also gives a chance, obviously, for the public to, give their opinion on whether or not the court should move forward with this. But the main point that I'm making here is that by moving forward and creating this reinvestment zone, while it does keep the tax abatement process moving forward, it still does not require the Commissioner's Court to actually enter into any specific agreement. The other thing that we've done by making this, the court has the ability to make the reinvestment zone as small or as large as they want. Sometimes counties they create a county-wide reinvestment zone. So in any area of the county could entertain entering into a tax abatement agreement. There are a couple downsides to that, as if you create a county-wide agreement, you basically, at that point, if you give a tax incentive to someone, you basically have to give the exact same incentive to everybody else within that same reinvestment zone. And since most counties like to view these on a project-by-project basis, at least my recommendation, the most prudent way to move forward is what we've presented you here, and just create a specific zone for whatever project is that's in front of you in the court. We think we've handled, we've got everything else there. As far as the project's concern. Not much has changed since, we provided you from the application. Courtney wished she could have been here to present. We really do appreciate the court's support so far through this process. But at this point, if you've got any other questions about what we're doing today, I'd be glad to answer them for you.
Well, at this point in time, the floor is opened up for public comment. Thank you, Evan.
Thank you all.
Open up for any public comment. Yes, ma'am? You are a member of the public, so.
Today I'm a member of the public. I'm Mary Smith, and I filled out a form. I just have a couple of questions. I know this is in the unincorporated area of the county. How long is the lease for on the property that's owned by the city?
I believe the first term is 15 or 20 years, and I believe there's an additional extension available for an additional 15 years.
If you sell the improvements, will the tax abatement convey with the sale, or would it have to come back to court for the new ownership?
Within the agreement, if there is an assignment provision that would allow the abatement to potentially transfer with the sale, pending the Commissioner's Court approval.
Okay. Those are my questions. Thank you.
Any other public comment or question?
I didn't fill out a form. I just.
Well, you can after you get through, Steve. Come on. Come to the microphone, please, and introduce yourself, and then we'll get you.
Steve Langston, Tongan County Appraisal District. Just need some clarification. This says unincorporated areas. My information shows this to be inside the city limits.
Well, and I read that. Does a portion of this lay outside?
Yes. I'll have to go back and look at the exact the parcel breakout. I've got each one of the, and maybe after this, I've got each one of the tax certificates that's involved in this right here that I can show you. That was involved in the application that was presented to the county.
Looks like the western edge of it is in the city, and the other is ETJ and city-owned land.
Okay. Well, that's contrary to my information, but nevertheless,
This is up, I don't know how updated this is, so I'm just.
Are we talking about a 7.81 acre tract and a 134.45 acre tract?
One second. Looking at these certificates now. We've got one tract, at least here. That's, and then I think this would be the total lease. Whether or not the entire project falls within every piece of this, that's going to be the final layout of the project. But so there's a 300-acre tract, followed by another 127-acre tract.
Okay. No, the information that I was requested to provide information for were a 7.81 acre tract and a 134.45 acre tract.
Okay.
So.
I can match these up with you.
Okay. Yeah, I'd like to see the maps also. If you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Steve, that kind of raises a question for me is on the reinvestment zone. Are we only establishing the portion that's outside of the city limits? And should that be what's in our meets and bounds for the county side of that, or are we okay with doing the entire piece?
I believe still as a leading entity in this, obviously I think as you know, we're in discussions with the city as well in the EDC. And what they have set up for the incentive agreement that we're negotiating with them, their part is covered, but I don't think there is any issue with the county creating a reinvestment zone for your purposes for the entire area that's listed in the order that we've got in front of you.
Still in the public comment period. We have an agenda item to deal with the.
Shouldn't make you do.
Any other public comment? Put it this way, any proponents care to speak for the establishment of the zone? Any opponents care to speak? Okay. As in, there does not seem to be any further public comment. The public hearing is adjourned at 9:07 a.m. and the regular meeting of the Commissioners Court is resumed. Okay. All right, that moves us to item number 15, which is discussion, consideration, and action on the designation of the county reinvestment zone made subject to the public hearing to be known as Energy One Renewables Tom Green County Reinvestment Zone.
Does it have to be a reinvestment zone to give a tax abatement?
Yes.
So, what are we reinvesting?
Well, it's very similar to what had to be done for the wind farm that was done south. Out of the same code, we had to do similar to the same thing for the infrastructure, the transportation funds that we received that are being utilized in Great Creek. We had to create a tier zone for that. So it's a tax incremental reinvestment zone. So for any kind of abatement, you had to designate this zone. So. With that said, is there some clarification that needs to be done on this resolution before we address that? We want to make sure that that is.
Well, it raised a question
technically
with
correct.
the location of the property, whether it be in the city or the, we don't know that, and that kind of changes the way we label it. I mean, where the designation is. We got to have boundaries. Don't we? And it makes sense. We have to have it really lined out, and we don't know where that is right now. I mean, I just looked at the 911 map, and it's not the same as it was last time. So.
Could you clarify that a little further?
Well, that's just the COG map that shows us the boundaries of the city limits and the ETJ, and I was just curious about do we need to nail that down before we do,
Is it in the city limits, any of it?
Some of it is, some of it's not. Some of it, but see, and just since we've been working on this jail project, I've noticed that when I was over at the permit office, some of our city lines have moved out a little bit, and I don't know whether that's been because of population change, or they've moved. I don't know. I don't know what happened. It just looked like it's different than it was when we started.
Okay. I mean, the only clarification that I have at this point, the point that was attached along with the reinvestment zone owner that helped us put together the boundaries that are listed in that order is, again, at least as far as the taxing entity is concerned, is that Tom Green County has the right to tax each one of these. I mean, all of which is within the legal boundaries that we've set in front of you. And because of that, because you do have the right to do that, a city and a county, at least in a tax abatement consideration, is considered a leading entity, so that either one of you can actually create a reinvestment zone that then other taxing jurisdictions, say if a hospital district or a junior college, et cetera, wanted to use as well, or even a school district, if they were entering into a different type of agreement with a school district, could use also.
I just was curious about how serious it is for the boundaries to be established before we go into any kind of, because normally some of the stuff is pretty well defined that's outside the city limits.
Yes, sir.
Even if it's in the ETJ, that doesn't make a difference. But if it's outside the city limits, it's a different, we have a different hold on what we can do. And I don't know that for a fact. I'm asking that.
Okay. And obviously, answers we can get the correct and final answer for it, because I think it's going to affect, one, again, if the county is going to consider providing an incentive, how that incentive is going to affect the county and the project itself. But as far as, again, this zone is considering, just because it's just simply it's not a binding act by the county, other than just, hey, we can consider anything within this, and you do have the ability to tax anything in these boundaries that we've set forward. I'm confident in being able to recommend, the county has the ability to be able to do this.
So this is more of a procedural decision, not than a definite,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Similar to,
No, I know, I mean, but we got to set up the procedure that we can still do it.
correct.
Okay.
Similar to, it was a couple weeks ago, we did the criteria and guidelines. It's just, in order for, to get further down the line, this is just one of those procedural steps the county.
Has the city acted on this?
They have. They have acted on that, and we have a proposed agreement with the city, with the EDC already. It's going through kind of the legal review right now as to what the final terms, et cetera, are going to be. But the expectation is that hopefully we should have a final answer from the city on that probably within the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Well, the question that I guess proposed, council, is the only difference I see is in our agenda item. As Mr. Langston pointed out, it says the public hearing on the proposed designation of certain property in unincorporated Congreve County. There's nothing in the resolution adopting it designates unincorporated in the resolution. So does that mismatch nullify the legalities of the public hearing as it's posted, and does it need to be reset? Not to put you on the spot without having any resource material. But
No, and I know what you're saying. The agenda item specifically talks about property in unincorporated Tom Green County, so what the judge is saying is that we're limited by the agenda item to not including any of the property that's in the city limits,
Right.
which it's how it reads, and that's the public hearing portion of it. So I guess you'd have to do another public hearing to include all the property, whether it's unincorporated or incorporated.
I agree.
Yeah, right. That was the concern that I have, is that our public hearing is valid for any properties that are within the city limits. So
That was a concern I had. I'd request, I guess, or I don't know if I'd make a motion or just make a recommendation, we table this until we get further clarification, or designate another public hearing, either one.
well, we're actually on item number 15 now, I think.
15.
Yeah.
We're on 15.
The 15's relates back to 14.
Relates back to the public hearing.
I believe I suggest no action on number 15, and we repost a public hearing for next Tuesday that includes all areas contained within this.
I agree. Yeah, that just consensus? I agree.
All right, well, I move that we table number 15 and reset a public hearing.
I second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Not all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. I don't know if that's a true agenda item, but that moves it on to the next. All right.
And we'll get the language corrected and all.
Yes, and unless y'all want to appear next time, it may or may not. Just depending if we get far enough to discuss the next item involved in this process.
Yes, sir.
All right, sorry. All right, item number 17, consider accepting the GASB number 45 actuarial evaluation report for retiree medical and life benefits. Mr. Pratt.
Good morning. Back in March, the court contracted with the firm Danziger and Markoff to conduct an actuarial evaluation of our other post-employment benefits. Other meaning other than our pension. So we're talking about our health insurance plan that is offered to retirees. In some counties, the counties pay for their retiree medical benefits, but here in Tom Green County, as you know, we allow our retirees to participate in our plan after they retire at their own cost until they reach Medicare eligibility, age 65. And so the focus of this report is to value what the Governmental Accounting Standards Board tells us is a liability that we need to disclose on our financial statements. And the report that I emailed to you, if you turn to past the cover letter and the table of contents on page 1, there's an executive summary that gives some of the information that they used in their valuation. So we had 452 active employees in the plan when they valued it, and 2 retired participants. The average age of our active employees was 45 years, and our average service credit was 8 years. And our covered payroll is $18.4 million. And so this, through their work, and the rest of the report details how they arrived at their valuation and their estimates. Our annual required contribution was $79,466, and our OPEB cost for the year was $77,430. Now, again, this is not an actual cost. This is a liability amount that we need to disclose on the financial statements. And you can think of this in a couple of different ways. The $77,430 is the cost of including retirees in our health plan, is what they're estimating the cost would be. So out of the approximately $3.7 million that we spend in premiums for employee health care each year, about $77,000 of that may be attributable to retirees, present and future, because they are valuing and they're estimating the likelihood that someone who starts employment today and stays till they retire and then elects to continue in our plan. So there are several factors that go into estimating this valuation. The other way you can look at it is called an implicit rate subsidy, is the terminology that they use. So the difference between the cost of our plan and what a retiree may be able to go out into the open market and purchase a plan for, the difference between those two amounts is what the GASB calls a subsidy. We are subsidizing their health insurance. And so this, another way to look at this is that's the value of that subsidy. So we have this information now. This report is good for 2 years of financial statement disclosures, and we'll include the information in the financial reports. The report is presented this morning for your acceptance, and I'd be happy to try and answer any questions.
What was the term that you said that the
implicit rate subsidy?
Yes.
Okay.
I would be willing to venture some other counties have a significant value tied to that because of the nature of how they do things. So ours is fairly minor from what I understand.
Ours is very, very minor. And there's been a couple of different firms perform this valuation for us over the years since GASB 45 came out, and they've all said it's very minor. There are counties who pay for a portion of retirees' health insurance or all of it, and those counties have liabilities in the millions of dollars, if not tens of millions of dollars, depending on how large the county is. So it can become a very astronomical figure for those counties.
Yeah, but we're not really paying any of it.
No, that's why it's an implied subsidy.
Only money, but because of that law.
Now, there is a cost to the pool for including retirees in the pool, and that's part of what they're estimating here. But it's very minor in comparison to the cost overall.
Well, I move that we accept the GASB 45 actuarial valuation report for retiree medical and life benefits.
Second.
Motion and second. Any further questions or discussions? Not all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Item number 18, consider accepting Friends of the Library donation in the amount of $2,700 to be used to support the 25th annual Read to Me March and accept the budget amendment. Mr. President.
Good morning. I'm just asking that the court accept a donation from our Friends of the Library for $2,700. I have a budget amendment that I've provided as well to kind of break down how the money will be used. It's going to be used to support the 25th annual Read to Me March.
When's that going to be this year?
April.
April?
Why do you do it in March?
That would make sense, wouldn't it?
He's being funny.
There's always a clown in there.
I'll move that we accept Friends of the Library donation in the amount of $2,700 for 25th annual Read to Me March, being done in April.
Clarify.
And approve the budget.
And approve the budget submitted.
Budget amendment reads increase in $2,700 in library donations, increase in programs and meetings of 1,000, books 500, and audio visual of 1,200 for information. Did you get a second?
Not yet.
Second.
Okay. We have a motion and a second to accept the Friends of the Library donation and adopt the budget amendment to correspond. Any further questions or discussions? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank the Friends. All right. Consider request to change the name of the Water Valley Cemetery Advisory Board to the Water Valley Pioneer Cemetery Advisory Board. I don't think Ms. Heinze could be with us today, and I'll just read a letter presented by her. She's the secretary. It said the Water Valley Cemetery Advisory Board, which was approved by the Tom Green County Commissioners Court on January 24th, 1994, would like to request a name change to the Water Valley Pioneer Cemetery Advisory Board. At the time the original board was approved, there was only one cemetery in Water Valley. Now, however, there is an additional cemetery that adjoins the original cemetery established in 1895. This cemetery is also called the Water Valley Cemetery. To avoid confusion, the present board is asking for your approval of a name change. So,
I did a little bit of research, talked to the county attorney. We don't see any issues with allowing the rename. Do we just need to make a motion that we approve the renaming of the Water Valley Cemetery? Is that how we should do that? I'll make a motion that we approve renaming of the Water Valley Cemetery Advisory Board to the Water Valley Pioneer Cemetery Advisory Board.
Second.
have a motion and a second to rename the Water Valley Cemetery Board, Advisory Board to the Water Valley Pioneer Cemetery Advisory Board. Any further questions or discussions? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item number 20, consider request from Tom Meade and the U.S. Special Operations Command to conduct realistic military training within Tom Green County for joint military exercises scheduled from March 6, 2016 through June 5, 2016.
You better be coming out of the bunkers again.
Okay, I think it's very similar to what they requested last year. I believe they will be approaching the city of San Angelo also.
Coming into the city limits with a plan, invading the city limits. That'll get that on the press.
All right, I'll read the letter. It's to USOC, the USA Special Operations Command out of Fort Bragg. So on behalf of Tom Green County, Texas, you and the men of the United States Special Operations Command are hereby cordially invited to conduct military training, unconventional warfare exercises. 16, it's designated as UWEX 16 within our jurisdiction from March 10th through June 5th, 2016. I fully understand from Mr. Mead's presentation that this training will involve ground operations, which may include the use of helicopters and fixed-wing aircraft. I fully understand and appreciate that this training has been coordinated through and approved by local law enforcement agencies and all affected property owners. Tom Green County is pleased to support United States Special Operations Forces. They develop the techniques and tactics necessary to defend United States interests around the globe. Please do not hesitate to contact if I can be of further assistance. I don't see the sheriff is here. Is he? Do you know if he's briefed the sheriff on what they're doing? Okay. All right. This is the same style of letter of invitation that was sent last year. So.
Very little impact last year that we had down there.
Yeah, there was nothing to see. I was somewhat disappointed because there was nothing to witness during the whole thing. So
I had to get up at night and witness it, and that was very unconventional for me.
Inconvenient for you.
They carry on at night.
all right, what's y'all's pleasure, gentlemen?
I'll make the motion that we accept the request from the U.S. Special Forces Command to conduct realistic military training within the Tom Green County next year from March 6th to June 5th, 2016.
I'll second that.
Would you amend that via letter?
Yes, via letter from them.
Executed by the county judge.
Yes.
I'll amend my second to second that.
All right. Okay. This is the first option. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Okay, number 21, consider Tom Green County addressing issues. I don't see Ms. Jarlett up there. 22, consider ongoing issues dealing with Tom Green County properties. Number 23, consider issues dealing with the following ongoing grants and take any action necessary. Infrastructure. Anything to see out there? We can go see. I haven't been out there.
It's paved. Part of it's paved, so we actually have part of it done. So I think we've completed the initial reimbursement to TxDOT for that as well. We've processed the paperwork, so there's no court action necessary.
Are you getting positive response back?
Oh, quite a bit.
Positive response.
Positive response, yes, positive response. They're thanking me that it's now a smooth road.
All right, CDBG, anything on that?
I think on that and the Colonia, we're all up to speed on all action necessary, so moving forward.
All right, no action on number 23. Number 24, consider issues dealing with the following ongoing construction remodeling projects and take any action necessary. All right.
Good morning,
Floyd.
Judge, Commissioners. How are y'all?
Good morning.
I come before you seeking approval to return some of the equipment that we purchased on the second order. Some of the equipment that was sent did not have an internal portion for PoE or power over Ethernet, which we need for the new phones and the wireless in the Keys building and in other areas. I've worked with Mr. Grimaldo and with CDW. They're going to give us a full reimbursement for the current switches, and the difference will be around $7,600 for the new switches to get the correct parts we need. And the reason I need your approval today is we currently have already paid for those switches because they were bought at the very end of last year, and that's our property that we're returning for credit.
So you need, I think it's a motion to allow the return of
Yes,
the
sir.
property for credit and repurchase the required items.
Yes, sir.
So moved.
I will second that. My only question is, is our auditor, who not only has been honored as the top auditor of the year in the state of Texas, has recently been crowned president of their association last week for the state of Texas.
Congratulations.
Which makes us, we have also the top treasurer and the top auditor of the state within our county. Does he have the ability to move this funds around and make it work in your budget situation? Okay, so no concerns from the auditor.
Hope you don't have a headache from all that.
And by the way, we need to, I was going to wait till we got to the announcements, but I had the opening there.
Well, thank you. It's a great privilege to represent the Auditors Association and to also represent Tom Green County in a statewide level. So thank you for that recognition. I appreciate it.
All right. Any further comments or discussions? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, anything else on the Keys building? I don't see Mr. Kelly here this morning. Pew Park?
It's progressing.
Okay. Consider items to be placed on future agenda. Obviously, a public hearing again next week. And then move item number 15, obviously, with that. Anything else? All right, announcements. For one, just congratulations, Justin, on seeing the coverage on your initiative. We have some very good people in Tom Green County involved in a lot of things. So.
Yep, that's great.
Any other announcements? Voting, when does?
Early voting ends Friday.
Friday.
Time change, yes. Fall back.
Halloween night.
Set your clocks back. Everybody gets an extra hour's sleep Saturday night. Or you'll be early. Or you'll be early for church, one or the other.
Yeah. All right. No other announcements? Nothing further? If not, it is 9:34 a.m. and we are adjourned.